Wait, what? A commenter came to the channel talking about Malik Willis to Seattle. Y'all remember the joint that I did last year, right? In the lead up to the draft? And I was talking about Malik Willis in Seattle could be a damn good fit. I just did not like him at pick number 9. We could talk about it from the Seattle standpoint. I don't know how Seattle will play the draft. If it were me, I'm still with drafting a line of scrimmage player or a top defensive talent or something like that with that number 9 pick, because I just don't feel like this is the draft where you go and grab a top 10 quarterback or quarterback in the top 10. We've seen these drafts before, man. You start overdrafting some of these quarterbacks where there's no tried and true number 1 guy like a Trevor Lawrence, or even guys like Zach Wilson and these guys, even though I thought a lot of those guys were underrated, to be honest with you, Justin Fields and these guys, and I made that clear last year. I thought those guys had a little bit of ways to go as well. Do you bring someone into that high of the draft that normally probably would be a second-round pick in a loaded QB draft? I look at my boy Malik Willis a lot like Jalen Hurts. I don't really see any difference between the two. You can say Malik throws a better deep ball, or maybe has a slightly better arm, but I would say Jalen Hurts is a better runner, and Jalen Hurts is a winner. Jalen Hurts statistically better and everything, came out with more experience. But now, just 1 year later, for perhaps a late-round draft pick, you can't tell me Malik Willis wouldn't be absolutely perfect for where Seattle is 1 year later as a franchise. Now, from Seattle's standpoint, it has a veteran QB who I expect to do the same exact thing, if not better, than he did last year, and that would be eat at Geno's. You clowns are going to be eating at Geno's next season. He has even more talent around him now. You damn got him some better offensive linemen. You damn got Jackson Smith and Jigba somehow. Right, a couple of dope-ass running backs in the draft. And he gets another year in the system after having a first year of being a starter, right? Now he's going to get starters reps. When he was splitting with Drew Lock, and some of you guys thought Lock was the answer over him, now he's the guy. So he could get better. That's the thing. That's what I don't like about this Malik Willis situation with them going drafting Will Levis of all people. Will Levis is a better talent than Malik Willis? How, Sway? What's the damn difference? Look at this right here. So I said it before. I'm unapologetically me, M-E. I hate the way black QBs are treated. If you're not the shit right away, guess what? You're not worth it. Why in the hell would you give up on a 23-year-old Malik Willis after how many? Look at this, 61 attempts. It did not go well. Okay. Guess what? That's just 61 attempts, man. 61 attempts and he's done? You draft another QB? And I don't want to hear that bullshit about, oh, well, they did it to Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen was the starter. Malik Willis has a starter in front of him in Ryan Tannehill. So you mean you can't further develop Malik Willis behind Ryan Tannehill? Tannehill's a good starter. Let Malik continue to develop, and then he eventually takes over for him. But now you have to get another cat who's a developmental cat in his own right? I don't understand that. Will Levis is not a better prospect than Malik Willis. 60 attempts. Check this joint out right here. Patrick Mahomes against Tennessee threw the ball 68 times. He threw more passes in one game than Malik Willis has thrown in his entire career, and they just essentially gave up on Malik Willis. Out here in South Jersey, we say, where they do that at? Not around here. So, I don't care about those 61 attempts by Malik Willis. I would treat him like he's coming out of college again. Is he not worth a 5th round draft pick or something like that, right? Tennessee doesn't have a lot of leverage. Man, 5th, 6th round draft pick or something like that. And he could possibly be your future franchise QB, especially if you're a team like the Seattle Seahawks who already have a franchise quarterback. Let him sit around and learn for the next 3 seasons. That's absolutely perfect. Now, if he's not the pick number 9, right? If he's not the number 9 selection, he's not coming as a franchise savior. He's coming as someone who can learn behind Geno Smith and Drew Lock, technically, right? That ain't perfect. So erase those 61 attempts right there. That does not define that man's entire career. And I'm going to put that same exact film study up again. And we now know that he definitely shouldn't have been the number 9 pick, like I said, but he's definitely worthy of being in the NFL, and he could still end up being as good as some of those guys I was comparing him to, a Jalen Hurts or a Justin Fields, and he can definitely be as good as a Will Levis. All right? Let me know what you think about Malik Willis still getting a chance to perhaps be a Seattle Seahawk, or even let me know where you think he would fit best at if it's not in Seattle, all right? But I'm going to repackage this film study for you. It's your boy, Jersey Murf, a.k.a. Mid-Atlantic Murf. Thank you. Later. That's how you play the draft, in my opinion, there. So that's just me right there. We shall see. But as far as Malik Willis, man, I remember sitting at Roswell, and I used to think about when I would study him, about him in the quick games. Like if we see right here, those type of throws, I would see inconsistency with him, right? You can see right here if you're doing a flare pass or something like that, you don't want to throw the ball behind the target and make him have to turn and do a 360 and get upfield. Obviously, you want to put that out in front of him. And I think he's improved on that for the most part. Still a little bit inconsistent there. I used to really study his mechanics. It reminded me of Michael Vick's mechanics with the cock at the elbow, as we can see right here. Another guy who does that is Emory Jones, played at Florida. I think he's in a transfer portal now. But you can see right here, he brings it down, right? Instead of kind of bringing it straight back, brings it down, kind of, you see right here. But then when it gets here, it kind of becomes more of a slingshot motion. So he cocks it at the elbow, and I want to know what you guys think about that. Justin Fields' delivery I did not like. I like Jalen Hurts' delivery. He's kind of somewhere in the middle with this. We're bringing it down like Justin Fields there, but then he cocks at the elbow. You can see it right there. Michael Vick was slingshotting that bad boy like you wouldn't believe here. Love that accuracy right there in the quick game back at Roswell. And, of course, I used to see his arm talent on display like you wouldn't believe. He could absolutely hose that bad boy. You can see right here, it's not a completion, but he gets the ball down 50-something yards, no problem. I know people in Seattle love this or whatever like that because of the Russell Wilson deal. You get to see that in Denver now, but he can launch a deep ball. But is it about deep balls and running? Where's your guys you see in the Super Bowl? Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. We see Jared Goff and Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford. These guys aren't phenomenal athletes. Joe Burrow. Right? These guys are phenomenal quarterbacks. Can deal in the pocket, can detach from the pocket. People love and are enamored with the athletes. It's fun to watch. There's no doubt about that, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. So we shall see. But, man, let's go ahead and get to it.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you take this bad boy to message boards, social media, but definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and let's get it popping. Seam route. We're talking about arm strength. We know he has it out the wazoo. People like to point to deep balls. I like to point to routes like this to where if you can't put some mustard on it, it'll get picked off. And you can't just put body English into these throws because you're air mallet. To me, that's arm strength. You cannot sit there and get a running start and all this like that and throw a seam route. So on throws like this, let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, cock and fire, low and away. One more again. This. So on something like this, I already want to know the approach, like why. Very pragmatic in my analysis here. And I'm looking at a throw like this, and I know the down and distance. You can tell the stick so far right here. This is towards the end of the game. They were just playing coverage across the board here. But I want to know on this one, did he meant to make this low and away here? You can make an argument that if he kept this in the air and kind of led up the seam here, that your man could have a shot. maybe not the score, but I don't know. Maybe if he broke a tackle or something like that, that's where I would like to see that throw be. I don't know about you guys right there on a scene like this, trying to get it passing over the linebacker, low and away. One more again here, low and away. Yeah, he could have definitely – that's what the seam is there for, right? You're finding a crease in the defense, keeping that bad boy up. But that's functional arm strength, where there's accuracy involved as well, not just innate arm strength where you launch it down the field. Going to have a stop route here right in front of this defender, and you can see where if you don't have accuracy, maybe this is a little bit to the outside, that's picked off right there. Not as long of a throw by any stretch of the imagination like that seam route, but we can see him doing a very good job here. I wanted to look at the lower body mechanics as well. Let's check it out right here. You see him start a lot of the times. He'll start on the opposite side of the progression and just trying to look the safety off, because I'm not sure if he's actually going through a progression right here. But see the point and shoot foot here. He's really light on that drive leg. Come out the drive leg there, and you can see him whip that thing over all the way there. So he's trying to feather the clutch, trying to guide it in there, feathering the clutch while putting a little bit of mustard on it, and gets it in there here. Let's look at that mechanic as far as his arm sliding goes right here. Let's look at the arm break. So he holds it about chest high, still bringing it down. Still bringing it down in that whip. So, you know what I'm saying, that's your natural motion. It's hard to cure someone's natural motion there. But you can see still cocking it at the elbows there. Point and shoot foot right to the target, driving on that. That's good mechanics. And you can see the result from that. Obviously, I picked this game, the Ole Miss game, because this is the closest thing, in my opinion, that he's seen to NFL talent on the defensive side of the ball. And Ole Miss is not some type of defensive juggernaut. Now, let's be real here. He plays at Liberty. Liberty doesn't have a ton of NFL talent on it. It struggled along the line of scrimmage, keeping this guy upright. A terrible performance by the offensive line. But some of this stuff was on Malik Willis as well. So got to point that out, and definitely in the interest of fairness, I'll let you guys know this. So check this one out right here. You're going to have a release here by the running back for this screen pass. And you can see how sometimes it can get a little bit problematic when the mechanics aren't there. Almost threw another interception there. We'll get to some of the other interceptions. I forget how many he had there, but you can see right here, I don't know if he was in panic mode. He can definitely sense a jailbreak, right? There's no doubt about that. Prison break on that ass right now, pause. But you didn't have to necessarily panic on this one and kind of overshoot the target, or overshoot the target by a lot. And that could have been extremely problematic. It was right in the guy's hands, and he simply couldn't corral it. Malik Willis's escapability, always leaving exit wounds. Look at this. Ooh. Made a man completely fertilize himself right here. Oh, look. Come on. What's wrong with this? This man lost control of his soul and his ankles at the same time. Look at that. Oh, his foot in the ground. I don't know what the man tried to do. He tried to trip Malik Willis. He tried to trip him, twist his own ankle. His shit looking really bad right there. Boom. True green Chemlon's best. Fertilizer City right there. And Malik, obviously, off to the races. So his escapability, I don't think he's that elusive in the open field. That was a really good move right there. He's not Lamar Jackson. I heard someone say that, but he's not got that type of speed and quickness there. He's definitely more on the lines of a Jalen Hurts with that. But Jalen Hurts and Malik Willis can both run. There's no doubt about that. Justin Fields as well. I put all of these guys, not Lamar Jackson, but all three of those guys, Malik Willis, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields, into a category of one of my favorite all-time quarterbacks, Donovan McNabb. They all remind me of Donovan McNabb. They're built like Donovan McNabb. McNabb had that big-ass arm. Sometimes McNabb's accuracy was a little sometimes, but he was in that West Coast offense with Andy Reid, and he did his damn thing, man. Very underrated quarterback there. these guys are in that same vein, in my opinion, there. So not Lamar Jackson type athletes. Lamar Jackson can beat you to the corner. He beat anyone, DBs or anything like that. Malik Willis gets caught on the corner a lot, or he makes it very exciting to where you're like, oh, did he almost get caught on the corner trying to bend the edge? But definitely a great athlete. Pre-snap recognition, football intelligence. You know, right here, pretty much everybody just running stick routes. Got sticks. They're running coverage across the board as far as the defense goes. So what's your pre-snap recognition on this one? Are you worried about the safeties or anything like that? Usually on something like this, you got to get it to the sticks. It's going to be a shorter throw, so you're not necessarily worried about the safeties. You're worried about these guys on the second level mostly, right? You know, if one of them were to shoot up, then there's your void. So that's exactly what happens here. And he actually comes late to, I believe, this slot receiver right here, and he gets him absolutely taxidermy. Check this out. Man coming right there. So he's kind of late on that. Bang! Tries to get him to the sticks. Oh, my goodness. Right? That's one of the Motel 6 hits, baby. We'll leave the light on for you. That man sleep. Come on. One more time, full speed on this bad boy. Could have got through this much quicker there. You see my man stopped and, weekend at Bernie's. Look at that. Finally comes back through right there. So you admire getting through your progressions for the most part there, but you don't want to get somebody lit up. So sometimes going through your progressions means that you didn't do the work pre-snap, or you didn't understand what was going on pre-snap. Clean pocket here. He could have came right now and hit this guy in stride right here, and he's able to protect himself, right? Hits him right here, and then bing, boom, right there. Sleeping at Motel 6, even though he's still on the field. He wasn't ever the same again. Post-snap recognition. I think about his time under both Hugh Freeze and Gus Malzahn. Those aren't two cats known for producing NFL quarterbacks. Both of their offenses are definitely college offenses, so I imagine him maybe needing a little bit of time to transition into an NFL offense. Now, something like this shouldn't happen. Like, you're going to have a fake bluff here, right? My man's going to bluff. You're going to have my guy right here coming on a wheel route, but it's too deep coverage. So you bluff this, you got someone coming on a wheel route, and you know that there's too deep coverage here. You can't blindly throw this. This is pretty bad right here. Get the bluff. You see the wheel. He thinks that's open. Elementary school. Threw it right to the safety. Like, that definitely shouldn't happen right here. This is just one of those plays where there's no read involved, really, because it's usually probably open if you're playing against Liberty's opponents there. But against NFL-style defenses, you cannot blindly think that a wheel route is going to be open like that. And your pre-snap recognition should have told you, at the very least, it was a too-deep shell. And that's all she wrote right there. So that's a really bad pass and a really bad recognition of play shells. This is to end the game, so you can't put much stock into this. I do put stock into this decision, though. So I didn't know what was going on until I look at it from this angle here. You can see the interception. He just had to try to make something happen. But there was a play to be made if he had a better grasp of being able to scan the field. We see him, as always, right in this particular game, there's going to be a breach off the right side. And you can see it right here. He feels that. Good pocket field there. But look at him. He's stuck on stupid. He's looking over here to the left the entire time. And look at this right here. This is a touchdown. Right here, his man starts to come open right there. All he would have had to have done is lead him. Look at this. That would have been actually pretty easy if he – I know he's under duress, so you have to take that into account. He's under duress. He doesn't have a long time to make a decision, but you also know where your men are at in your progression or just in the play in general there. And you knew there was a man, right? There was a B-side receiver, right, working backside, and he chose to go back towards traffic, and he throws it into traffic. Another interception to end the game. Really nothing too elaborate if you really look at the scheme of it. Now, keep in mind, this my evaluation of Malik Willis is a lot longer than anyone else's. I've seen this guy do some incredible things. I see him do some boneheaded things, but I've seen it over the course of time. Over 6 years of watching this kid, when most people probably never even heard of him until last season. Or this, not this particular past season, but the season before when they played and beat my Virginia Tech Hokies. But keep in mind, right here in Virginia, I get to see the Liberty games as well. I keep up with this cat, no doubt about that. Hugh Freeze's system is not too intricate. You can see right here a couple of twin routes going on. You get pretty much just a stick route here, same deal here, and then you'll get a couple of twin routes as well. Coming to the outside. I believe the back with a traffic release be going to the outside here. And then I believe you get your last resort there in the H-back. So being able to quickly go through these progressions is one thing. Look, 1, 2, hit, go. It always seems like he's just a tick late. And then he comes back right there. Look at this. What's wrong with this particular play? This is the stuff that I look for on film. 1, 2, 3. Now get rid of it. Right, so a tick late there, but look, if anything, if you're going to come right here, which I didn't like that decision, I think you could have hit one of those people out in the flat. You got to put it in his chest. You can't have him having to turn around, so he has to turn all the way around, and then the DB is able to get there, and he can't really do anything about it. But if I would have liked to see him hit one of these routes, whether it be this one real quick or be, so let's just say he's going through this progression here. Let's see if we can do this. Let's just say this was 1, and then he came with 2, and then 3. So I will be reading the leverage of this corner right here to come back. It would have to be extremely quick, but I wanted to get it to the guy who is in enough space to where he can make something happen. I want to get it to him accurately, if you get what I'm saying there. So one of those guys, 1, 2, 3, it ain't there. You don't want to fit it between those guys. You don't like this right here, then hit this guy right there. So he's still on this particular read right here, his second read. I would have liked to have seen him get into the tertiary read right here, but he waits and then hits the check and then delivers inaccurately. Going to have a clear out here and an out route. Malik's going to work the front-facing play action with a sprint out here and hit this out route, and he delivers this bad boy on the money. Front-facing play action, sprint out. You got levels there. Cocks and fires. Bang. From way downtown, bang, as my man Mike Bring would say. Front-facing play action fake. You can see him carried out. You can see the levels concept going on right there. Going to have 1, 2, 3. He's going to get to 2. You can see the leverage there on that particular defensive back. Just got to get it out there. Accurate throw. I like it. More stick routes. Everybody run to the sticks. What they were doing against Willis is they would have a dedicated spy. This time the spy committed to one side. Willis does a good job of escaping and getting down. That's something I would like to see for guys who like to detach from the pocket. Learn when to say when, get down and slide. Kyler Murray does a great job of that. Kyler Murray's one of these guys who I thought would be really good in the NFL, and he has not let me down. Got to be able to exhaust those options, though. Exhaust all, chain through your progressions, nothing there. Go ahead and get what you can. So that's the aspect that I know a lot of people like that does come in handy for sure. Remember when I said that he'll have all these throws and then you'll get one? It's just like, well, what just happened? Here's one of those right here. Simple hitch route here. You would think this is extremely easy and not sure what happened here, but almost like a damn fade pass. No need for my man to have to hit the ground on a hitch route. You want to keep him up. Let's see what the mechanics of it. Maybe the running back, I'll give him credit on this one right here. He couldn't step into this throw right here. The pass protection is right in front of him, so he couldn't hit that point and shoot foot there. So he had to step to the side a little bit. But, hey, man, sometimes you have to do it with bad lower body mechanics as well. If he could have kept this guy up, maybe the guy's still running. You never know. Another thing I noticed in this game was as great of a deep ball as he has right here, it was a few of them died on him. If you see right here, this ends up just becoming a 50-50 ball when it looks like at first Well, I guess it didn't matter. The receiver wasn't going to outrun this DB anyway, so it probably was just a poor throw. It was a stop and go. He held the safety. You gotta always give him credit for that. When he's coming out, he does a great job of holding the safety. You can see the safety does not know what to do here. He's riding the stitches, and then he launches. I don't know if he didn't step into this one or something like that, or maybe put too much air under it, but it just ends up being a jump ball, and luckily for them, the wide receiver does win it. All right, if I see it, I got to do something on it. Opposite hash throws, one of your toughest throws, definitely an NFL throw if you've ever seen one. This is how I judge arm strength. And front-facing play-action fake. Oh, I like it. Remember, can't put body English into this. You can't just give it the old heave-ho like you could a deep ball. This one you have to actually have accuracy and everything. And you can see he aces that bad boy. Boom. I like it. Let's see it from this direction. The mechanics of it. Looking out the safety. Can't see the actual throw, but you can see how he does here. Notice that swinging around with that front leg. Bringing that back, you can see where he brings it down right here. Now this does look a little more elongated, but with that arm action at the top of it, with the elbow, cock and fire, it definitely lessens the time. All right, real quick, let's do a little comparison between the three guys that I was talking about in this particular dissection here. Got Malik Willis officially measured in at 6'1", 219 pounds. That is very Jalen Hurts-esque, no doubt about that. Jalen Hurts, 6'1", 222 pounds, so a half an inch taller, a few pounds heavier, but very much one and the same with Malik Willis. And I believe that to be the case for them as prospects as well. Jalen Hurts, a lot of people down on Jalen Hurts. It's always been that way, it seems, for some odd reason, man. Some people just can't get the admiration that I believe they deserve. I love me some Jalen Hurts, just like I love Malik Willis. However, Malik Willis gets a lot of admiration because he seems like more of an underdog, coming from Liberty, being in a draft that doesn't have one of those elite prospects at the quarterback position where you're like, oh, yeah, that's the number one pick in the draft. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, went in the draft with several players that he was compared to, one being his own former teammate, Tua Tagovailoa, who ended up eventually taking his job. You had Justin Herbert in that draft, a franchise quarterback, one of the best talents to come out of the draft. Same deal with Joe Burrow, already in the Super Bowl in his second season. So a lot of guys in that draft, Jalen Hurts and Malik Willis. If Jalen Hurts was in this particular draft, in my opinion, I would think hard about choosing Jalen Hurts as the first pick in the draft. But I still wouldn't take Jalen Hurts in the top 10, maybe not even the top 15 or top 20. In a loaded draft, to me, Jalen Hurts is a bottom of the first round, early second round pick, just like he was. So you always got to keep that in mind. I believe the same for Malik Willis. Now, we'll go through all the other quarterbacks. Not really a fan of most of the other. I like me some Sam Howell. I like Pickett. My favorite is Matt Corral. But I believe Matt Corral to even be one of these guys where you're like, I don't know. He has a lot of moxie about him. He has a live arm. But to me, Matt Corral is one of these guys as well. Maybe a top 15 pick, not a legitimate, tried and true top 5 pick like you would think with a franchise quarterback. So buyer beware on that. Let's check out this as well. Let's check out some statistics here. Got these stupid ads in the way, but if you can see this right here, 2-year starter. Me personally, I like for a QB prospect to have at least 650 attempts. The more the better. He has 618 attempts. My prerequisite, right, for my scouting prowess, I like for a quarterback to have a 65% completion percentage or better in college. He has a 62.8. 48 touchdowns to 18 interceptions. That's very good. I like that there. Let's go on here. Justin Fields. 6'3", 227, a little taller than those guys, but built in the same vein. Obviously, he had monster statistics, but look at this. He also had 618 attempts. crazy. They had the same amount of attempts in college. Malik Willis and Justin Fields. Justin Fields with a 68.4 completion percentage, though. 67 touchdowns and just 9 interceptions. Justin Fields is a monster, no doubt about that. But what did I say? I didn't think he was ready to be a starter in year one. He didn't do anything to make me look bad on that. So he could have definitely sat this year and learned. He didn't do that well, in my opinion. He showed glimpses. Obviously, he'll be a lot better in the future, but we shall see. There are definitely holes in his games, in his game that I pointed out, and people can see that now and can stop calling me a hater. Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts, look at this. 1,000 attempts in college. He's a 3-year starter. Did his damn thing at every level. Right? People didn't want to give him credit, but if you look at this, a 65% completion percentage, he meets that threshold. 80 touchdowns and just 20 interceptions. If you look at the individual season, we have to keep in mind that my man had 12 interceptions at Liberty. He only completed 61% of his passes. Now, the weapons probably are a little bit down, but he was up with his yardage there, down with his completion percentage, up with the touchdowns, and up with the interceptions, though. So, got to keep that in mind, man. 12 interceptions at Liberty. I don't think he's ready to start right away. I think he definitely is one of these guys who would need a little bit of seasoning. If he could play behind a veteran quarterback, it would be in his best interest. I thought the same thing with Jalen Hurts. He did that. He played behind Carson Wentz, got the work in a little bit, and hey, they got to the playoffs. A lot of mixed results. People just don't like Jalen Hurts, so I don't even really like talking about the kid. It's almost like talking about Lamar Jackson. If people don't like you, they'll never give you credit anyway. So I feel the same exact way about Malik Willis. People talking about picking him in the side of the top 10. I wouldn't do it personally, but hey, if you like the guy, I would say go for it, but it is what it is on that one. I would draft this kid a little bit later in the first round, if not the second round. All right, but
What more can I say?
Top Billin.